and I feel one of the problems with because one of my things is like I can't believe that Latvia doesn't have an international huge singer that sings in English. Yeah. And because I just feel that Latvians are so good at music in general, and especially singing. Like my music. I would say especially singing, but it's because I know a little bit more about singing than about music, so I can really value how they sing. But most probably, if they will go, if I would know anything about violins, I would say the same. But I feel that because Latvia is so small, when artists are doing things internally, they get success kind of quick, and they don't understand that in the international stage how long it takes. Like I remember to get my first international music video, it took me. I went to school 2006, and I got it in 2011. It wasn't that much, but it felt. But I had done a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. It's still 5 years, but it felt like it was 20. Like
Yeah.
it felt like I had done everything, and I just felt like, of course, they're gonna find me in London. And a guy flew to Latin America, to Venezuela, to make a music video with me. Super grateful about it. And but that's what I feel that Latvians don't understand in the international stage. That it's just nothing takes less than, let's say you're a genius, 3 years. Yeah, let's say you're a genius. Normally it's going to be more like 5, 7, and if it's 9, it's okay. And of course, if you started at 18, it's going to be at 27. But it's like Latvia is not and I know this because I also come from a place that when I was starting, Venezuela was going down economically, so that makes you start the race compared to the world way behind, because you cannot, right now you're literally saying, well, maybe I can get money from here, in other places the person can just zone in. I just want to sing, have the mix recorder here, the producer here, and we'll whip the producer until he gets what I want. It's not, nobody's gonna have a voice there. There's enough producers that you will find somebody that is gonna be Esmeralda how you want it, and until the end, until you don't get it how you want it, he's just not gonna sleep.
Yeah.
And of course he will have some input, but it's a completely different thing of, I understand that here there's less people, and then you're stuck with what it is. And if the person doesn't want to give a little bit of creative, then you're stuck, and then you have to go and do your own bits and your own production. So, but it takes long. I'm saying this because it takes a. I do. We work here all the time. It's a huge team, and we're not even at 10% of the results that we want. And but I have no doubt that if I continue doing this for 3 years, I'm gonna get everything I want, because that happened before and it will happen again. And you're putting the hours. That this is just to tell you, you're putting the hours.
Yeah.
You're committing the thing. And then the story that you will keep on telling is, but I had to be alone, writing my own thing and this and that, because that's the sacrifice that nobody's willing to do.
Yeah.
But don't stop. Especially if it's something that refreshes your life and makes it better, just continue doing it, because it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be ungrateful. It's like every time I hear, like, I'm gonna tell you, I've literally seen somebody share a story with one of my songs, and I feel like, oh my God, for me that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like because it's a plus. I'm not even expecting anything. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. But yeah, like yeah, that's interesting.
That's a reward also.
Yes, yeah,
That's
yeah.
a huge reward.
It is a huge reward. I'm a little bit guilty. I feel I'm a different beast in the sense I'm very disconnected of the outcome. I really don't care. Like, I really don't care. And I would even say that I have kind of like maybe it's a pathological problem, that the worse it goes, the more I take pride. That it's like I take pride on taking a hit more than giving a hit. Like there's some trauma that may be there,
Maybe
but I've
included,
started
yeah.
seeing it because it's like I was saying in the last podcast to a friend that she's a singer. I'm like, it's very easy to make reels that have 1 million views. It's very hard to make reels that have 0 views because being successful is very easy. Yeah, everybody's telling you how great you are, and you see the numbers going up, and you see your wallet getting fatter. But doing stuff that nobody wants to do, nobody wants to do it. And but if you can do what nobody wants to do in a way, it makes you feel better than them because you're like deeper, stronger. It is a sick way of thinking. I'm not saying no, but I've kind of come that way. But I've detached myself too much of the result, and I think it's because you were saying about the social media. If I would have to post, if I would have to write the things, I would go insane. I just can't do it. Like
You have to do it just like this.
yeah,
Because
but
if you start overthinking it, it's the same. It's the
yes,
same story as everything else. And also with the success, you always have expectations about every project,
yes,
probably.
yeah.
But when it comes to the end, you're at the finish line, you just finish it, release it, it's done, and just you own it.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
yeah,
This is what I did.
yeah.
I know the feeling that you are talking about. This crazy person who thinks that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, also with the hours and long work that you put into whatever you're doing, and yeah, for the one thing that you mentioned was the that you know that you are one of a kind.
Yeah.
Probably there's not many people right now sitting and doing the same thing
Yeah.
that I do right
Yeah.
now. So that's rewarding in a sense. But also, when you continue just sticking to a routine, you have to have these, and I discovered this actually recently, that you have to have like at some point you have to look back. For example, I have all my diaries that I reread, and just look back at my past, and that's super rewarding about how long, like what you've
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
these with all the work you put in, and that is really good feeling, because for the longest time I thought I was stuck because I was doing the same thing all over again, and I was trying to like improvise more with stuff that I was doing in the producing like things, but then I recognized that I'm doing something like new each time that I didn't even recognize, because I just improvised. Like I tried to do it, but I
Okay.
thought I'm doing the same thing,
Okay.
And when I look back at my, for example, for my first beats to my now, I don't use as many samples as I used to. I used to like take sample, just remake it or redo it, then put a beat on it or something like that, or just create from something that's already put out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But right now, because I try to like do it more like, no, I want to do it myself. I have my MIDI. I want to try to make my own sounds. I want to try to like experiment. Maybe in nature, you go outside, you record something, birds,
Shoot.
something
No, I'm
sticks, whatever. And you try to do it. It takes time because you have to set up everything, it's a process. But when you finish it, then the next time becomes more easier. It becomes more easier and easier and easier. And you don't notice it because it's like, I'm doing it, the same stuff,
Yeah.
Because for the music production, it feels like you're doing like the same things all over again. If you're starting a beat from nothing to like complete song, it's like a process that you go through, and you have to like it's like pinpoints that you do throughout the process, and it feels the same, but it's not the outcome each time. is like completely different from the project before, and that's interesting. You have to you have to stop at some point and look back and see the progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, and that's rewarding as well.